Let's talk a little bit about pride, and I want to give you a perspective you've probably never thought about before. Obviously, we know that pride is really bad, right? Well, if that's the case, then why does it seem okay for God to be proud? I mean, think about some of the things that God has said about Himself. For example, in Isaiah 46:5, He says, "To whom will you compare me or count me equal? To whom will you liken me, that we may be compared?" Or how about this one from Isaiah 45:5? "I am the Lord," He says, "and there is no other. Apart from me, there is no God." Or how about the verse from Hebrews 6 that says that when God made His covenant with Abraham, He swore by Himself because He could swear by no one greater. Now, if you or I said something like that, it would surely be considered prideful. So why then is it okay for God? Well, it would seem that there is actually nothing inherently evil about pride, if, and that's a big if it's justified. In other words, there's nothing wrong with taking glory that actually belongs to you. But here's where we run into the problem. The problem is that there's actually nothing good in us, according to Romans 7:18. But every good thing comes from God, James 1:17. And apart from Him, we can do nothing, John 15:5. So there's actually nothing justified for us to be proud of ourselves for. In Philippians 2:13, the Apostle Paul says it this way, "For it is God which worketh in you, both to will and to do of His good pleasure." So if it's God that does the willing, and if it's God that does the working of His good pleasure, then that means that even when something good does come from our lives, we can't take the credit for it. And if we do take the credit for it, it means that we're actually stealing the glory from its rightful owner, which is God. Take, for example, a student here in the university who receives an A+ on an essay. It's a great honor to them. But if it's discovered that this student is not the true author of that paper, not only will he lose his grade, but he'll probably be expelled from the school. You see, it's not the quality of the paper that's in question, but it's the truth of the claim upon its authorship. Taking credit for somebody else's work is piracy, it's dishonesty, it's theft. And human pride is plagiarism because it's taking credit for the work of another. Human pride is robbery of divine glory. God is the only one that is self-sufficient, self-reliant, and uncreated in the universe. Therefore, God is the only being in existence for which pride isn't simply permissible, it is absolutely righteous. When God praises Himself, He gives the glory to its only rightful owner. When we worship God, we are simply acknowledging what is true, that He is the author and the architect of all good and praiseworthy things.